Hi guys, this is my 2011 R1 with the Big Bang engine. Bear with me, it's a bit windy today. Today I'm going to put on the R&G frame sliders onto my bike. So this is a video of how to install the R&G frame sliders. They are cut fairing frame sliders, so you will have to make holes into this main fairing. Enjoy. These are the R&G frame sliders that we're going to be installing today. They're pretty simple. They come with instructions as well. 2 sets, 1 long bolt, 1 short bolt, and they come with 4 spacers, 2 washers and 2 shockproof washers as well. So we'll show you how to install these. Okay, so what you will get in this kit are 2 side crash bobbins. They are of great quality. You get a long bolt and a short bolt. So short bolt's only about that big. Long bolt's for the left hand side, the short bolt's for the right hand side. You will also get a large spacer and a small spacer each, so you'll have 2 of each. You'll also get just a normal washer, and you will get a shockproof washer as well. Now the assembly for this is basically you will put the normal washer on first, then you'll put your shockproof washer on, and then you're literally just going to thread it through, and there you go. And then when you're actually fitting it on, you will adjust accordingly. You might need the small washer on its own. I know on the right hand side I just needed a small washer on its own, so I got rid of the big one. On the left hand side you'll see me fit it on later on in the video. And okay, so we're going to start by removing 5 sort of self-tapping bolts. They're all clearly visible. So you've got the first one, which is there, second one there, third one, and the bottom 2. Now keep in mind the top 3 shouldn't come off the fairing because they'll just unclip and stay there. Now the bottom 2 you can pull them out. I'd rather pull them out because they do tend to fall out. If they fall out somewhere and you lose it, that's going to be another issue of trying to get hold of them. So we'll start with these 5 bolts. Okay, so next, once you've taken off those 5 bolts or loosened them up, if you have a look underneath the front of the bike, I'll show you the opposite side. You've got these little sort of push pin rivets, and all you have to do is simply just push the middle of them until they click. Now on the side that we're dealing with, there are 4. So we've got one right at the end, one up here, one there, and one up the top. So all you have to do is just remove them all, and then we're through. So you've got 4 on this side and 3 on this side. Take the fairing off, it'll be easier. We are going to this bolt over here. So we're going to take this bolt off. Don't need to touch anything else on this side, just this bolt. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen it up in a second, and then we're going to put a little bit of white paint on it, and we're going to loosen it enough so that when we put the fairing back on, it just about touches the fairing, so we can see on the inside where we need to drill the hole.
Okay, next what I am going to do is loosen that bolt. All you need is a 14mm socket on a ratchet, and it should come off with hand strength. It shouldn't be too difficult, so here, I'll show you that now. So what I am doing is I'm only loosening it to a point where I can freely move it with my hand. You'll see why next. But before we do that, I am going to put a little Tipex on. Put it around the edge because the inside won't touch the side of the fairing, so I'll put a lot around the edge. And you'll need a lot because it will probably end up being dried up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the fairings back on and show you what to do next. Okay, so now that I've put the fairing back on, I've just tightened up the screws. All I'm going to do is loosen the bolt with my hands until it touches right to the edge of the fairing. You might not be able to see this, but I'll try my best so you can. So that mark's done. I'll show you what it looks like when I take the fairing back off. Okay, so now that I've done that, I've clearly made sure that there is a mark in there. It is a bit vague, so you've got to figure out where exactly the center is. This you'll have to use your own judgment for. Now I'll take the fairing off and show you what the mark looks like. Okay, so at the moment we have two marks. From what I checked, it's the top mark that's the middle, roughly. I just made a mental note of the fact that the middle is just a bit above. That turned into a smudge. So now we'll go inside and we'll show you how to drill this hole. Okay, so we've got the fairings off. Now it's time to drill the hole. We've got the markings done. First, what we're going to do is put masking tape on the other side so that we don't scratch anything and nothing gets torn off, nothing like the paint. So we're just going to mask everything up. Once everything's marked up, we're going to drill a pilot hole. A pilot hole means just drilling with a small bit. So we're going to do that one first. I would suggest take it easy in case anything wrong happens. Okay, the next thing you want to do after you drill your pilot hole is go back, put the fairing on, make sure that it's dead center to the engine mounting bolt, so that you know it's in the right place. If not, then readjust. If it is, then you carry on with the next step, and that's to cut the hole out. What we are going to do next is actually use one of these. So all it does is that part goes into the drill that the hole that you've just drilled, and the surrounding will cut out the plastic. Now we're using a 32mm ring. They do suggest 28, but we're going to use 32. It just makes life a little bit more easier. And there you have it, your hole. Now we'll go and clean it up with a little bit of filing around the edges, and then we'll stick the fairing back on and see how it looks. Okay, next thing we are going to do is we're going to take that engine bolt off. Now on this side the engine bolt is 17mm, on the other side it was 14, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off and then fit the fairing back on. Okay, so all we need on the left side is the big washer, and that's it. there we have it, both sides fitted and finished off. Now just to put the finishing touches on.